Alright everyone, we're gonna start in a few minutes. So you can, if you want to eat, just grab there and please sit here. But we can have a social distancing as well, so don't worry because we have this air purifier with us. But it's better to,
Yeah, social
yeah. Brian, meron pa dyan?
Ito na lang siya.
Siya na lang.
Okay na. Okay na daw.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Good evening everyone. Salamat po sa pagpunta dito in our office. Thank you for coming in our office and we really appreciate your time. That especially this time, like, it's the first day of work, is it? Oh, yesterday. Sunday, right? Oh, no, sorry. Monday is the first day of work right now, but you're still here with us because for sure that there's a reason why you are here tonight. So thank you so much. Before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Yuri Moore. So my background before, I've been doing the beauty business, which is New Skin. I started that one in Philippines and brought here in UAE like around 2015. Brian, it's 2013 to be exact, right? So yes, and then later on, I would tell you my story why I'm into this business because of my mother, and it really helps her. And that's the reason that it's not really more on money, it's more on a mission of helping people live longer, healthier lives. But we are so very lucky tonight because the owner itself, the president of Nutraway International, he is here to help us, to introduce everything of all the opportunities, and especially that the product that what we had that is very timely right now. Please help me welcome Mr. Jerry Geroni.
Thank you, Yuri. I'm really thrilled to be here. I'll tell you something. A lot of you have been in businesses, are presently in a business, and you know and I know that when you're making a difference in people's lives, regardless of what kind of business you're involved in or whatever you've done in your life, the more impact that you can make, the better you feel. Because really, the truth is that life is about contribution. We've all been through stages in our life where really we attack money, we attack, thinking that it's all about us, especially when we're younger. But as we move along and the more birthdays we have, the more we realize that life becomes fun when you're growing, you're progressing. And if you're not, you're gonna feel this sense of uncomfortable. You're kind of, you don't know what to do. And I see that too in a lot of retirees, because they were fed the Kool-Aid where, once you retire, everything's going to be great. You can do all the things you want to do in your life. You're gonna have this, you can travel and all this kind of stuff. Well, what I find and what I encourage so many people, whether they're in their 20s, and in your case 18, I admire that because the reality is the time in your life where you should take the biggest risks in your life is when you're 18 to you're 26, 28. And after that, if you do, it becomes a little more complicated. And I'm going to show you today what we do and how we do it and why I've been in this business for so long. Like, I know, Sherilyn, I know I only look 40.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
agree.
Joke lang. I've been in this business for 44 years. That's a long time. I'd like to say I started when I was 5, but I started when I was 19, a year older than yourself. And you don't stay in a business this long unless there's something good happening. You don't stay in business. If you look at most people that are in business, like let's say, there's a lot of great companies out there that have great products, but you're going to find in most companies, whether it's the direct sales or network marketing or anything like that, they might have a great program, a great product, but you're going to find that people move around a lot, okay, regardless of what kind of company they're in. And I'm going to show you why I have stayed for 44 years and why I have so many people that work with me all over the world that have stayed on a full-time basis for so many years. And there's a reason for it. See, a lot of people get into business, and one of the first things they think about and talk about is they talk about how much money they're going to make. And trust me, I'm all for that. I'm all for how much money people can make, because the more money you make is because the more contribution, the more impact you've made. It's all about impact. And so I'm all for that, but I think one of the first things you should ask yourself, regardless of what company you're going to involve yourself with, and I'm not saying that all of you want to get into business right now. A lot of you might be here just to see, what kind of a products do we have? We are in the health and wellness business. And I think the more birthdays you have, the more you realize that, listen, I'm sure at 56 years old, you could have told Steve Jobs that if you gave up all your money, you're going to get your life back. I'm sure you would have given it all up. So I think what I'm suggesting really strongly is that, listen, we've got to take care of this vehicle that we have here. We've got to make sure that we do everything in our possible. Now, no matter how great our products are today, you're going to see that, listen, we can't guarantee people perfect health. But I can guarantee you this, that the more good things you do that support health, that support an immune system, that make you stronger, you do increase the chances of living longer and stronger. True or true? It's true. And this is what we're going to do. So we're going to start off with some of their products. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, maybe. I started this business at 19 years old. I grew up in a family that wasn't, I had a beautiful family, a family that loved me and my brothers, just like I'm sure and hopefully sure that you have had the same. But my parents were not business people. And so what I've noticed, that should you get involved in any kind of business, it's good to be around with people that are the right type of people to associate with. Because the friends that I had in my teens, they were great people to party with. But they weren't the type of friends that were going to carry me to this level here. In spite of the fact they were great friends, but they weren't into success like I had dreams of. I had no idea how I could do it. I had no idea that today I would be standing in front of you. Like, no. I'm 19 years old. I'm just looking for someone to lead me. And so I thank God that someone changed my life. And I'm hoping that whether I can change one person in this room today, or more, or just to inform you that, it's probably to your best interest to get healthier. It's probably to your best interest to look at this in a more serious way, because I look at it in a very serious way, or I wouldn't be able to share with you. If I wasn't living the experience, I can't share. And I live this experience. I'm 64 years old. I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. I'm I feel extremely strong. Maybe some of it's genetics, but a lot of it as well is what we do each and every day. And I've noticed that good habits are just as hard to break as bad habits. And so my job as a coach, as a mentor, is to help people formulate better habits. Not just in health, but how to focus. You've been in business and you're a successful woman, and you know this, that really, if you look at a person that's not making enough money, sometimes a lot of times they're in the wrong vehicle, but most of the time it's because if you look at the way they spend their time, they're probably not utilizing their time very well. They're not managing their time. And secondly, because they're not managing their time, they're distracted with other things. And when you're distracted, you become confused. And the moment you find yourself in a distracted, confused state, you fail. It happens. It doesn't matter if it's me, you, anybody. Find yourself in any sort of relationship, and remember, business is a relationship with your business and with the people, right? Any kind of relationship. The moment you start getting distracted, confused, it starts going down. The moment you are focused on target and purpose, you start going up. True or true? True. All right? So I'm going to show you why I'm on purpose, and I have been for many years, and to realize I'm honored that Yuri was able to introduce me today so I could share my story as well as to share about products. Now, I'm going to start off with the first product, which is, it's all about juicing, but I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the way most of us eat, you know, most of the people here are Filipino, but whether you're Filipino or not, Arabic, it doesn't really matter. If you look at the diet, it's usually high in meat, fat, fried food, and carbs. And that diet, as we get older, as we have more and more birthdays, has a lot of negative effects on a lot of people. What are some of the problems from eating in that way? Huh? What are some of the health issues that happen when you eat like that? That's right. One of them is high blood pressure. What's another one? Yeah, diabetes. Listen, my dad, my father started, a lot of people, and all the cultures here have friends or know of people that are diabetics. Okay? My dad started off just like everybody else with the pill. Are you aware that if you're a diabetic, that you have a greater chance of kidney failure and or stroke? My dad got a stroke. After the stroke, it's the insulin. When you elevate from pill to insulin, it's a whole different level of diabetes. Then all of a sudden you start going blind at some point. You have circulation problems. You got a lot of issues. And what happens is he cut his foot just a little bit, it wouldn't stop bleeding, goes to the hospital, gangrene sets in, and the doctor says to me, he says, listen, we gotta cut your dad's right off right now, because it spreads fast, right? And my dad refused. So it didn't take many days before he passed away. Now, I didn't know back then that juicing could have changed his life. And I didn't ask my dad why he wouldn't cut his leg off just to stay alive. But here's what I assumed. His friend had already had 2 of his legs cut off. Because most of the time with diabetics, once you cut one, the other one's coming. And see, he already was a dependent in a wheelchair from his stroke. He's only 74. And so to me, I think he started to visualize that all of a sudden there's already people cleaning them, now they gotta lift them, and I think it was just like over. So all I'm sharing with you is this: if I would have known that juicing would have changed his life. This juicer here, you can purchase juicers. I always talk in dollars, okay? So multiplied by 3.67, but or just make it easy, 4 times. Okay, 4 times, all right? So I'm sure here, listen, in America, if it's $100, here we'd say 400 dirhams, let's say, okay? So you can buy juicers for 4, 5, 6, 800 dirhams, very inexpensive juicers, all right? And you can purchase juicers for 3,000 or 4,000 dirhams. Let me tell you something. The juicer that is of extreme high quality will be the least expensive juicer you've ever purchased. And I'll show you why. See, that little juicer, whether it's 400 dirhams or 1,000 dirhams, they are very weak. So when you're cutting the vegetables, you're cutting them like little sticks. A lot of work. If you press a little too hard, it stops the motor, and they burn out very easily. And you get a lot of pulp in your mouth. Trust me, it's not pleasing. If you're juicing carrots and kale and all of this stuff, it's not pleasing to have pulp in your mouth. And if you've got that in your mouth, you're not going to want to juice. You're going to want to avoid it. And so what happens, and it uses much more food. So as you're using this juicer, the price of it goes up because it costs a lot, they burn out real quick. Speak to anybody that's ever owned one, and it becomes a real job. Our juicer here is a top-of-the-line juicer. It's a stainless steel juicer that is a commercial juicer used residentially. It is, you can listen, in the Philippines, my wife is Filipina, and when I'm in the Philippines, I juice with, normally it's carrot, apple, red pepper has more vitamin C than an orange. And in the Philippines, if I'm there, I usually juice malunggay, which is like a miracle plant. Now, if you're going to take juice out of a little tiny leaf, it has to be a powerful juicer. If you put, like in Canada, we juice kale. We don't have malunggay. You try to push that through an inexpensive juicer, they burn out right away because it stops the motor. It has to be powerful. So, should this become a part of your life, good habits are just as hard to break as bad habits. Show me someone that's been weightlifting for the last 5 years or working out consistently. I'll show you a person that most likely will work out for the rest of their life. Show me a person that makes the habit of juicing each and every day and finds himself going regular, feels stronger, more energetic, your skin is better, you feel better, you think better. You go for a blood test and you find that your blood is better. You'll probably end up juicing. I will be juicing for the rest of my life. You know why? Because I probably don't eat perfectly on the road or even at home sometimes. I want to have that balance. Typical morning for me. In Canada, it's kale, carrot, apple, half a beet, which cleans your liver, and red pepper. That's a typical morning for me. When would I ever eat? And I used to only have one little glass. Now I have a jug every morning. When would I ever eat that many vegetables? And the apple sweetens it up. So it tastes amazing. And I do it every day. Because my hope is that I can keep myself feeling good, looking good, and looking good is important. But I want that. And you gotta have some reasons. One of the reasons for me is not only do I have some great children that are much older than our young children, but I have children just like a lot of you. I want to stay around as long as I can, so I'm going to do the best I can to stay strong. All right? So juicing will change your life. Number 2, it's all about water. Now, water filtration systems are important. Now, most people here drink bottled water. Can I assume that? All right. That's pretty typical. Most people will drink bottled water nowadays, no matter where you go in the world. But let me ask you this. When you're making rice, where do you go? You go to the tap, right? At least most people do. You go to the tap. Tell me something. Why do they put chlorine in water?
What?
Chlorine. What's that? To kill bacteria. The key word there is kill. Listen, if you're going to destroy or kill bacteria, how do you do that with chlorine? Chlorine, by the way, if you look it up, is a poison. So what they're telling you is that you're showering in, cooking in, and in some places they still drink it out of the tap, drinking what they call acceptable amounts of poison. Now, when have you ever found that everything is acceptable to everybody? I'll give you an example. Have you ever heard of anybody being allergic to penicillin? You ever heard of that? Do you know penicillin? When you have an infection, you take penicillin, don't you? All right. So if you take penicillin, if I take penicillin, I'll heal quicker if I got an infection. Somebody else takes it, it kills them. Because they're allergic. My brother was allergic. He passed away But when he was alive, he was very allergic. You might have heard that some people are allergic to shellfish, lobster, crab. My brother Stephen, he is allergic to freshwater fish. And then you hear people are allergic to grass, milk, the bee stings, peanuts. It's forever people are allergic to stuff. The reason I tell you this is this. If you go on the internet right now and you Google chlorine, cancer, and heart disease, there's an article that comes right up. That article talks about the Medical College of Wisconsin, which is a research center in the U.S. known all over the world. In that article it says that their research team is convinced there's an association between cancer and chlorinated water, that 1 in every 8 women will get breast cancer, that a new study in Hartford found that most women with breast cancer had elevated levels of chlorine compounds in their breast tissue, over 60% more. When I read that, I thought to myself, like, I'm no doctor, of course, but I'm thinking, could you imagine? There's an oncology hospital here in UAE, probably many of them, but let's say Dubai, and a woman last week might have got her breast removed, and the only bad thing she did was shower in chlorinated water, cooking it. See, when you shower, chlorine evaporates at a lower temperature than water. That's why sometimes you turn your tap on, you can smell it. Have you noticed that before? You turn your tap on, you can smell it. So when now you're showering, chlorine comes up, you breathe it in, blood comes to your lungs for oxygen, you still have to clean it up. And when you're cooking, a lot of people think, well, you know what I'm cooking? I'm cooking rice, the water's boiling, right? Back in the old days, they used to boil water in the province. Why did they do that? That's right, to kill germs, to kill bacteria. I'll tell you something. You can't kill a chemical. You can kill bacteria, you can kill germs, you can make that water clean in that respect, but you're not going to kill a chemical. If I took a teaspoon of gasoline and I put it in a pot of water and I boil it for 5 hours, it's still poisonous. So whatever chemicals are in your water, in most cases, instead of killing them, you concentrate them. Rice is over 50% water. So now you're cooking your rice, and so all the chemicals that are in that water go right into your rice. And you're eating it. And so your body still has to clean it. What I'm suggesting to you is this. Work on moving away from making the body have to do the cleaning. I would move away from that the best you can. Because you either own a filter or you're the filter. Your kidney, your liver, your spleen, your body becomes the filter. You know, I travel a lot, and you wouldn't believe the amount of new dialysis centers popping up all over the place. More and more people. And when you hear Yuri's story a little later on, it's an emotional story. Anyone that would have a family member that has to deal with that. Now, I can't be specific, but I can say this, that I would prefer to not use my body as the filter. Because I don't know how tough it is. Some people's bodies can take a real beating. You know? Other people just get sick quicker, get diseased easier. And so I don't want that inflammation. Because remember, things that are poisonous cause inflammation, whether it's a little or not. And you might agree with me on this. Nothing happens overnight. Everything happens over time. So I want to reduce. See, you guys look great. You ladies look beautiful. But remember, the more stuff we put in that's not so good, we agitate things in our body, and depending on your body type, your DNA, your genes, and all that kind of stuff, will depend on if you activate something. And so I'm all about doing the best you can for the family, for yourself, to say, you know what, we're not going to participate in that anymore because we know about it. I'm not sure, how long is this video? Maybe, you know what, maybe what I'll do is I'll just focus on the cartridge for now, so we can move, or else it's going to take a little long. What I'd like, though, is the quick little video of when you clean the cartridge, all right? This is the cartridge inside. This unit is a stainless steel unit. This unit is a stainless steel unit. It'll stay with you for the rest of your life. It'll either go above counter, as you can notice over there, and or below counter where it has its own tap, all right? And this is the cartridge inside. So when water comes into this cartridge, it pushes through this ceramic. It's like you're pushing water through cement. At this point, it won't allow bacteria through it, microorganisms through it, filth through it. You're going to see in a few minutes a 10-second video where Mark, in our previous office, cleaned the cartridge after 30 days, and it's filthy. When you start thinking that that filth goes into your rice, that filth goes into your pasta, that filth just goes into your food, you're going to start going, you know, how that don't look so good, that's just 30 days. And when you feel this, and oh, there it is. Hey, let's take a look at this right here, because I'll tell you something. It is, you're going to go in some areas of this city, like in all cities, and look at that brown rust and filth. And when you touch it, it's slimy. Sometimes it feels like a lot of oil. It's not so nice. So what you do is you use a green scratchy pad and you lightly sand it. It takes it off and reallows the water to flow. So you lightly sand it, and it reallows the water to flow. You know how many people I've seen, like I mentioned to you, my wife is Filipina, so there's a lot of people sometimes have filters. Do you realize that most filters should not be on well water? We have one of the few filters in the world that can. Why? Because well water can be contaminated with bacteria. And this will block bacteria. There was a study. There was a study done. There was a study done in Asia, and part of that study was in the Philippines. But it was in Asia, South Asia. And they found that 40 years ago, the cancer rate in the province was around 3%. Today, it's similar to a city. Well, cities are over 40-45%. Now, why is that? Why did people back in those days? Now, listen, I'm giving you what I assume, okay? Because you know, I didn't do the rest of this research, but this is what I assume. Back 40 years ago, and I'm going to relate it to the Philippines, is back 40 years ago in the Philippines, they didn't really have what they call like the little tractor, like they had mostly the carabao doing the plowing and so on and so forth. They didn't have pesticides that were spraying on the rice and on the farmers' fields and everything else. They didn't have the gasolines and the paints and the chlorine in the water. They didn't have all that, but today they do. So, and another thing that happens in different areas, similar to the Philippines, is in the Philippines, they have typhoons. Well, when the water goes up, where does all that pesticide and chemical go? It goes in everybody's well. When the water rises, it gets into the system. So it's to their best interest, that's why all our family over there has these filters. It's to their best interest to filter their water, just like it is right here in UAE. Because UAE uses desalinated water, they process it, they add chemicals to it, they gotta keep it from bacteria. The heat is so high here that they've gotta put a lot of chemicals in this water, and when you're showering, when you're cooking, it's probably not what you should be having going in your body, at least not in my opinion. This is fantastic. At the back there, we're going to show you here a whole house water purifier. This is the whole house water purifier. If you want to see it, it's at the back there. But this whole house water purifier is absolutely fantastic. When you're showering, have you ever noticed, whether it's here or whether it's in America or anywhere in the world, when you're showering, you get out of the shower, a lot of times your skin feels dry. You're itchy. That's because chlorine is a bleach. And now when you take a shower, you don't feel all your hair getting all clumpy. And your skin feels fantastic. And it feels like you're taking a shower at the top of a mountain. The water is so clean. This is, should a person own their own home, this is like something spectacular. Every room in the house, every faucet in the house is filtered. And it is really, really special. And so we've got 5 main products. One of the ones that has become, it was huge before, but once Corona started, it became a #1 product. Today, people recognize more than ever before. Before coronavirus, none of us really thought that the air could hurt us. Even if we knew, we heard pollution and all that kind of stuff, but none of us really thought that the air could hurt us. But right now, you're wearing a mask. Why? Because you're thinking that the air could hurt you. And for a lot of people, God bless her soul, Evelyn from Davao, a lady who worked with us who was a superstar. Prior to passing away, she sold close to $500,000 once converted from pesos. And when she got Corona, she got it on Thursday, she passed away on Sunday. Very quick. So there is a percentage of people that it goes all the way. The other people get very sick, and some people it's a mild sickness. But the point that I'm making is that air, something in the air that you cannot see, affects you. Something in the air. I got Corona back in September. I was like, I felt like a bad flu for 2 days, and the rest of the days I felt like a minor flu. Total of about, 6 days, 5 days, 7, I don't know, somewhere in there. 2 days were like intense for me. So I was, kind of like many of you, the lucky ones, right? The majority. But it still showed me that, oh my God, I just breathed something and I'm like sick. Prior to that, we sold air purifiers for years and did a tremendous amount of business, but we never sold it on viruses. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this air purifier. First of all, if you went out to find an air purifier that would do what this does, it's a 10-stage system. You go look it up anywhere. You're not going to find a 10-stage system like this anywhere. We went in the Philippines and we went to the Department of Health, the Army, the government offices in Iloilo, the hospital in Davao. It used to be called DMC, Davao Medical Center. Now it's called SPMC, Southern Philippines Medical Center. You go, Ministry of Health, you go to any one of them. They wanted someone that could match this because, they have what they call bidding, right? If you're dealing with the government, it's called bidding. There was nobody that could show up. Nobody that could show up. We sold $500,000, about 400 and something, to the Department of Health. Dollars after conversion. Why? Because this 10-stage system is phenomenal. Yeah, this 10-stage system is amazing. Number one is, I'm going to show you what's in this. But your air goes through all of this before you breathe it. Okay? Before you breathe it. When I was flying Emirates on the way here, all right, and, you know, they say on the speaker, the air in this aircraft is filtered with a HEPA filter. Okay? That's this here. That's just one of our stages. All right? Just one. And that the rate of infection, because of that now, that the rate of infection is very, very minimal. Just about, can't say non-existent. But I kind of interviewed a lot of the flight attendants on Emirates, on United, on Delta. I said, well, how long have you been working? Have you been working through COVID? Oh, did you get it? No. They put HEPA filters in. Really? I was on Air Canada. Everyone, I'm asking, well, how long have you worked? Did you work through COVID? Oh, yeah. Did you have COVID? The last lady said, yeah, I got it at Christmas time when I was at home. We had visitors. You didn't get it on the airplane? No. There's a HEPA on the filter. There's a HEPA filter there. So really? And so I'm curious, I'm asking, right? You want to do a lot of questions, because if I'm going to deliver a message to you, I want to get the info, right? And I said, wow, that is so cool. Because when I ask you to invest your money with us, when I ask you to say, hey, listen, why don't you do your family and yourself a favor? I encourage you and I invite you to look at this, because it'll have a real positive impact on your life. See, this first stage here deals with particulate, things that are in the air. You've seen that, when the sunlight's coming in, kind of like sideways in the window, right? So this gets the bigger charged particles, and then it gets smaller, super small, submicron to viruses, okay? If they put you in what they call a negative pressure room in the hospital, okay, that's because you got tuberculosis. So the air is filtered in, filtered out. They usually very expensive. As weird as they look, they're very expensive. This is of the highest grade that you can invest in. Then you have carbon stages to remove gases out of the air. So now, we're the only company that I know of, and we've done a lot of research. Now, maybe you might find one, but so far, we haven't. That deals with particulate, means fibers, dander, everything that's in the air. That deals with bacteria, viruses in the air. And that deals with gases, off-gassing, even the chlorine gas that comes out of your taps. The smoke from cooking. And so now when this is in your house, the air feels light, easy to breathe. You kind of, the other night, I honest to God thought that, well, maybe she's got corona. And she didn't end up having it, but she was having a hard time breathing, my wife. And so what we did is we got the air purifier and we rolled it right beside her. Similar to what my brother does, because he's asthmatic, extreme asthmatic. He's got a little, the puffer things, right? Hormone, what are they, steroids, right? So he's got that puffer. And literally for Stephen, if a dog goes right by like that, just walks by, he'll get an asthma attack. Or a cat. And there's other things that trigger them. See, this will not cure your asthma, but here's what it will cure. Or I shouldn't use the word cure. It'll reduce the things that trigger it off. See, the triggers of asthma or allergies is in the air. It's in the air. So by you remove it out of the air, you continually remove all day, now what you've done, you reduce the triggers by 90-95%. So this has high impact. And the last part of it is the 10th stage, which is the deodorizing ozonator. Actually, it shows, is this the little video that you got for 2 seconds, the smoke, okay, if you wanna do that for them, let me see, you got it, okay, let me know when you're ready to roll. Okay, so, the deodorizing ozonator, should you decide to do some research, you're gonna find that ozone destroys viruses, including corona, on surfaces and in the air. But do you know what, prior to corona, what I used to do that, use that for? Is, I'm in the Philippines 4 times a year, right? And each time I come home, I gotta bring a suitcase full of toyo, pusit, tinapa, and bagoong. Okay. Toyo is dry fish. Filipinos love dry fish. Okay? But boy, oh boy, does it pack a punch when it comes to smell. All right? It is a strong smelling fish, trust me. All right? You put that deodorizer on, and within, depending the size of your home, within a half hour to an hour, voila, no more. It is amazing. That was the main thing that we used to focus on when we talked about the ozonator. But today, we focus on both viruses as well as high odor conditions. It's an amazing filter. I'll tell you something, I have no idea. Okay, all right. So they're gonna put some smoke in here, and then we're gonna show you the filter.
We have smoke out, you know what, it might smell like enough. We got good. It's pretty good. Did all those get lit? You're gonna get them all lit? Okay, that's cool. No, you know what, it's not gonna be enough. It'll be enough, but not too much. Last.
See, they stop, that's the thing. They take 20 seconds to get. Give it a minute to kind of even out. Because before it was kind of like you could see through in the bottom, but now it's kind of like I said, spreading out a little bit.
It is actually, it's fogging up a little more. Let's let it go for a second.
Yeah. Shows you how effective it is.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll turn it on. It's an amazing filter. It does 900 square feet every half hour, or 1,800 square feet every hour. When viruses, look at that, it just removes it just like that. And when viruses go through there, it usually removes over 80% the first time it goes through. So as it's on consistently, it's consistently removing higher and higher percentages. And it's absolutely terrific. Thank you. All right? Okay, so the last product that I'm going to show is the mattress. Now, I had no idea. Has anybody here, by the way, ever heard of a mattress called Tempur-Pedic? Well, it's very popular in America, okay? And you can buy them for $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. I mean, it depends the size and what it's got, but you can spend 10 grand. I'm going to show you why everyone that knows about our mattress and what it does and how it does it, why they want to sleep on it for the rest of their life. And when you really start understanding the benefits of what this does, it will, it has such a high impact. Yuri's got a great story of how it benefited her mom. And you will hear that soon. but it has such a high impact. So think about it. You imagine, should you decide to get on the path of health and wellness like this, and you start juicing every day, all right? I hope that soon, now that this office is all set up, that in the future, when you come in, we're gonna serve you juice as you come in, so you can literally taste how amazing it tastes, and why you would wanna do it. So you start juicing it each and every day. You're cooking with amazing water, you're showering in amazing water. If you live in an apartment, we have the smaller units for the shower itself. And now you're showering, you're cooking, you're drinking, you're breathing great air. And now, one of the most important parts of your life, more important than you could ever imagine, is having a great night's sleep. And it's so easy for you to look it up. You can look it up on the internet, the value of sleep, but look up what this mattress does, and it'll change your life. Here's what it is. Have you ever heard of something, well, first of all, have you ever noticed when you go to bed, you've gone to bed many nights where all of a sudden you're feeling pretty good, and then you wake up in the morning and your back is sore. That happens a lot. And depending on the person and depending on your bed, for some people it's extreme. And if you have a back issue, it goes even further than that. And most of it, not all of it, but most of the time, it is because your mattress does not keep your spine even. It either sinks, it either pushes your hip up, it doesn't keep, so here you are, you're sleeping, and all of a sudden you turn, okay? And you keep turning because you're uncomfortable. And the more uncomfortable you get, the more you turn. Some nights you'll even wake up for a second and then go back to sleep because you just turned so many times. In the morning, you're feeling a bit sore. How many mornings have you woke up where you didn't feel like you had this? Like, you still go to work because you got discipline, but you just kind of know you're not at your best. I mean, it happens a lot. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how you can have the best sleep of your life. I truly do look forward to going home to be able to sleep on our mattress. I look forward to that more than you know. Because if you can fall asleep and in that morning you're going, oh wow, I'm pumped. I had a great sleep. Think about this. You ever notice when, maybe you had this experience when you were growing up. You fell asleep on the beach or camping. You were connected with the ground. And the first few minutes when you wake up, it's like you don't even know where you are. You know, like, whoa, you know, you kind of, wow. You slept deep. There was something about it that was unique. Go lay on some grass today. Don't even go to sleep. Just go lay there and see if you feel different. You will feel different. When you're touching that ground, you will feel different. There's something amazing about it, which I had no idea until Carrico brought up this mattress. And what it is this. What we are bombarded with is what they call EMFs, electromagnetic fields, or electromagnetic radiation. It comes from Wi-Fi, it comes from electricity, it comes from your microwave. And it bombards you, and it creates inflammation. And see, when you go to bed, you're still getting it. You know, you got the wires in the wall, you got the lamps, you got the TV, your cell phone. If I take up my cell phone, well, I can't take it now, it's right there, but if I take my cell phone and put this little meter to it, when it's on, it shows you that it's giving off electromagnetic. Have you ever heard that you shouldn't put your phone to your ear? Yeah. And you should. Because it heats up your head, it inflames your head, it reduces the oxygen in your head. It's not to your best interest to do that. consistently. So now, you've got this, you want to be able to remove this inflammation. See, your body is electricity. This man-made electricity interferes with your electricity. This is AC. You are DC. Your heart, if they go do a heart scan, they measure it by its electrical impulses. They measure your muscles. They measure everything about you through your electricity that's in your body. You go to the hospital, you ask any nurse, doctor, that's how you're measured to see if you have a heart murmur or they see your electricity's off. Have you ever noticed that every day you charge your cell phone? You got to charge it. You need to be recharged. I need to be recharged. We need to be recharged every day. But which one of us is going to go out, take our shoes off, and go walk on the beach, go walk on some grass? How often do you even touch the earth? For me, not often. Thank God I touch it every night when I go to sleep. Because I'm going to show you that we have the only mattress in the world that has it built into the bed. In the world, patented, with keratin, that has it into the bed. This is truthfully something that is absolutely something that you'll go to bed and you don't have to think, is it working? You will know it's working. I want you to see this video, and this video is about, I'm going to set you up before you watch it. This has nothing to do with us. We got it off YouTube. And the reason we use it is because it's about this doctor talking about the Tour de France. Have you ever heard of the Tour de France? It's a bicycle race. It's worth, I don't know if it's hundreds of millions or even $1 billion when it all is played out, when it comes to TV, advertisement, endorsements, winning the race. It's a big event. And when we heard that they had this YouTube video talking about earthing and grounding means the same thing. When we heard that they had this video, we want people to see it because it showed that when something's worth hundreds of millions of dollars and they're using it to improve their racers, what will it do to you? Do you know that grounding or earthing reduces blood pressure, helps level out blood sugar, speeds up healing? Could you imagine going to bed and each night you heal faster, you reduce your blood pressure, you increase circulation, you help regulate your blood sugar? Take a look at this video because it really impacted
I had the
me.
privilege of being an integral part of 8 Tour de France victories for the Discovery and Coastal Circus teams. The European technology played a vital role in all 8 of the Tour de France victories.
After a few days racing, you're very tired. And that thing was very helpful for us. For all guys, they feel much better every morning and they feel less stress and less fatigue.
The Tour de France is by far the most difficult sporting event in the world. It's comparable to running 3 marathons a day for 22 consecutive days. They may climb as much as 30,000 vertical feet for 6 miles straight up in a single day stage. The earthing technology is essentially the deliberate transfer of the Earth's electrons onto the body just by making direct skin contact with the product. Even though a rider may not be injured, the severe physical and mental strain needs to be discharged from the body while the rider is relaxing and recovering. So we use the technology at night to make sure that they get up the next day fully recovered. Second use of the technology is to accelerate tissue repair and wound healing from injuries that may be sustained during a day's tour race. The athletes reported and observed better sleep, less pain, more energy, faster recovery from injuries on a routine and regular basis.
Your best technology's been working out great. I feel like we're sleeping a lot better. My injuries felt a lot better after I woke up the next morning using your infectious technology, especially putting patches directly on the injury.
Yaroslav Popovich crashed on a time trial, had massive abrasions to his right hip and his right elbow. The moment that we got back to the hotel, we used the earthing technology immediately to start to accelerate his recovery. He was able to get up and compete fully the following day and put in one of the most significant contributions to helping Alberta win that year's tour. When it gets really hot in France in July, the asphalt that the riders ride on starts to crack and blister, it gets soft, and if you fall on that, it's like falling on a cheese grater. At the end of one of the day's stages, Benjamin Wall had been seriously injured. These were some of the deepest penetrating lacerations that I've ever seen. But when he got back to the hotel, we put the earthing technology on him, and he slept all night. He got up the next day and was able to compete, and he was able to finish the tour.
He could stay in the race, which was remarkable because we gave him already up, but he wanted to stay, and thanks to Jeff and the earthing technique, he could stay and be a great help in our last week.
We as humans have to recover, as does the athletes at the Tour de France. So regardless of whether you're an athlete or not, all you do is lay down and let the technology do the work for you. There are no appointments to keep, there are no refills, there's no dials to set. All you need to do is make direct skin contact with the technology, and the technology does the work for you.
Yeah, that video really impacted me because, listen, we all need a good night's sleep. There's a young lady who works with us in Houston, Texas. She's a nurse, and she works 12-hour shifts. And then at the end of the 12-hour shift, she told her a story. That's why she works with us now part-time. And she does home health as well. And she would wake up to do her home health after 2 to 3 hours. And then she always felt like she had like sand in her eyes. She was so tired. And after purchasing our product, she says, I felt like I had a whole night's sleep. And she now decided, she loved it so much, she now works with us. She came to convent, she's been to 2 trips with us. We take our consultants and managers on 2 trips per year. She came to Dominican Republic. We stayed at an amazing place called Casa de Campo, and we just did a Florida World Convention there. But that's what inspired her to come with us. It wasn't the trips, in spite of the fact that became a bonus, but it was the fact that she felt so phenomenal. This bed here has pure silk and a beautiful fabric through it, and it's all layered with pure silver, and inside it has carbon fabric, like carbon fiber, all right? Carbon and pure silver create a shield over your bed. We're going to show you that right now in a few seconds on how it works. And this shield literally removes all the radiation or EMFs that you require all day. You feel better. It increases your blood circulation. That's why if anybody that purchases a mattress like this, they're the only ones that need to see a doctor once they start using it, because they can reduce, in most cases, their blood thinner, because they've increased their circulation over a month, 2 or 3. Other than that, nobody else does. It's because you don't want to thin your blood even more. And that's a positive thing for all of us, to be able to increase your blood flow, which increases the oxygen in your body. So I don't want to get too deep, but trust me, it is an amazing experience. Now, what I'd like to do is, if I could have, you might as well sit on up here for a second and check this out. Okay, let me see here. Oh, you're here still. All right. So now, you have insurance, right? How can you know? Okay, well, it's good to take risks in your life. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is, listen, no matter what we do here, you can feel the electricity going through his body, okay? Now let me see here. Okay, plug it in. Look at that, unplug it.
There you go.
Plug it in. Unplug it. So, he's got electrical wire right under him, and you notice that when he plugged it in, it removed all the electricity going through his body and rechanneled it and removed the inflammation from his body. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
And Dr. Lips. Okay.
You know, some people have had that because of this. They sleep or sleep and have the telephone by him or something. Oh, yeah. So,
You mean because of the electricity in the walls? Yeah. It creates inflammation. That's right.
especially when the people also talking the telephone and the telephone will charge.
Exactly, exactly. So, look at the benefits. Listen, I really got, you know how many people invest their money with us and they don't have such a detailed presentation? Like, the reason I get so detailed at these meetings is I want you to really get as much information. Especially, there's people here that actually want to learn more about it. Some of you here are just kind of checking us out, right? But there's a person like Manuel who, you know, the more he keeps hearing, he might only pick up one or two extra things that I say that he didn't pick up yesterday. So that's why I get really deep. And yourself, you and your wife, you know. So I get really detailed. But we find in presentations that it can be a very short presentation and people get it. I just want you, because I might say something that impacts him, but you'll be impacted with something different, okay? So that's why I spread as much out as I can at these meetings. But when I'm in a home, I say only enough for them to understand and say, hey, I'm in. You know? But here, I want you to really get it all, right? And that's why, too, when Yuri comes up, she's probably going to reiterate some of the things I've said because she has her own way of expressing. And a woman, you know, or a man's way. You know, I always look at knowledge as a knowledge buffet, right? You take what you like. If I heard you put on a presentation, even in your jewelry business, if I was watching you put on a presentation, I would be watching for your tones, your eyes, your body language, you know what I mean? Because I can pick something up from that. This mattress is amazing. And I'll tell you something. This pillow, just come on up here and feel it later on. This pillow, the way it's constructed here, have you ever noticed that most pillows, they get hot? You know, after a while it's hot, and then you turn it over, or you move like this, and you know, you do all sorts of stuff, right? And but this here breathes, just like the bed. When you move on that bed, it breathes in and out. That's why it's cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. It's an amazing bed. This here, this side is like a normal pillow. This side, which is my side that I use, has a little hump here, fits right in my head and supports my head. I literally take this with me on the road because it rolls right up in the carry-on. And it's nice and cool. And feels comfortable. Pardon?
About cleaning.
Cleaning. Well, cleaning, you really should get it dry cleaned. But if you have a nice sheet over it, right? All right, I would suggest you that you use cotton, you know, not those plastics.
Yeah, but sometimes people have too much sweat. When it's
Yes.
too much sweat.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to, see, the nicest part about our mattress is that you don't have to have direct contact because the way it's constructed, it creates a shield over the whole thing. So that is my product presentation. I'm going to just say a couple more things, and in a few minutes, I want to invite my business partner and friend, Yuri Moore, up here, but I want to share something. There's people that work full-time with me. Should any of you have some interest in looking at us at a deeper level, there's people that have worked full-time with me that still are with me. One of the persons is 40 years. 40 years. There's people that work with me that have been with me for 20 years, 25, 15, 10, 5. You know, I know we have a lot of Filipino here. The first Filipino lady who worked with me was Rose, 1996. I met Rose. She was working as a nanny in Toronto. And I just could see that Rose had talent. I said, Rose, I'm going to help you become super successful. And she believed in me and I believed in her. You know, sometimes you got to believe in someone who believes in you before you believe in you. And so I believed in her, and she believed that I could carry her to, I call it the promised land. And the promised land is your dreams, your freedom. Because really, all of us work. I know we want money, but money equals freedom depending on how much you have. The freedom of not feeling the stress or the fear of not having, or being wiped out. You know, or if there's something going to go on in life like Corona, and you're going, whoa, you know, this could really hurt me. You know, that's what freedom is to me, right? Is that these events don't have a lot of impact when it comes to my resources. And so, to keep this story very, very short for you, Rose was with me part-time for 4 years. At that time, when I met her, she didn't drive. She didn't have a vehicle, of course, and she didn't own a house. She lived on 10 Green Court in Toronto, and in an apartment. Speed the story up. I convinced her to get a vehicle. I convinced her to start driving. Rose, I convinced her to buy a house. The house was what they call a semi, meaning there's two houses, right? You know, one house, but there's 2 houses, really, right? And she paid a little over $200,000 for it at that time. Right now in Toronto, it's worth over $1 million. Rose was with me part-time for 4 years in the year 2000. And I kept telling her, I said, Rose, listen, a nanny job, there's nothing wrong with a nanny job. As a matter of fact, my wife came to Canada as a nanny, okay? I said, that got you here. But there is a lot of nannies that need your job. You don't need this job no more. And one day, at your age, at that time she was in her 50s, they're not going to want you. You're going to be too old. They're going to want a younger model. I said, you need to, I said, but you know, like everybody else, she was conditioned that security was an hourly job. That's security to her. And to most people, they're secure. They've got that check. I said, Rose, after 4 years, I'm going to show you all your paychecks. And I showed her monthly and a yearly one. I said, you're earning a lot more money part-time than you are full-time. Security is knowing you're good, or maybe even great. That's security. Because no matter where I drop you off, you're meeting another Filipino within seconds, and you've got an appointment. Within seconds, you've proven that for 4 years, go full-time. I never pushed you before, but now, go full-time. She did. And that's after that is when she purchased a home, brought her kids from the Philippines. She did a lot of great things. Rose only slowed down about 3.5, 4 years ago. She's over 77 now. She's either 77 or 78. And she was full-time with me in the year 2000. And the reason I tell you that story is I think it's a good story and it says good things about what is possible. And the one last thing, I kept telling Rose for years and years and years, Rose, one day you're going to earn $100,000. And I know when she looked at me smiling and giggling, she didn't really believe it. But Rose was fantastic at selling. Managing people was not her thing. And I said, Rose, you recruit them, sponsor them, I'll manage them. And that's how I met my wife. She booked the appointment in 2003. 2003, she books an appointment. I go over, I show this young pretty lady named Thelma, and I sold her a water purifier and an air purifier, and I was the giveaway. That's how I met her. And I want you to know something. So Rose was full-time from the year 2000 till about 2018, 19. Full-time. After that, a little bit of sales, cooked lunch, and then she's with her daughter and so on. And the girl that we sponsored would end up being my wife. I'll end with this. She was very strong at this right from the word go. Okay? Very, very strong. First year part-time, she sold $195,000 worth of business part-time. She was part-time for 10 months and then she came full-time. Let's fast forward from 2004 to now, because I met her November 30th, 2003. 2004 is when she started. Fast forward to last year. She sold personal sales. She ended the year with personal sales, not group sales, $1,261,000 in business. 1 year. She's grown. She kept raising her belief in herself each and every year because we push for it. I push myself for it. I push Yuri. Yuri pushes me. We encourage each other to say, hey, you can go higher. You just gotta believe higher. I believe that UAE is gonna be a massive place where we've made a big impact in the surrounding area and worldwide. And you are the people that will make a difference, the people that decide. And should this not be something you want to be involved in, you might want to just refer to be part of our ambassador program. Become a booking agent.
How about this catalog from this video?
We'll show you that a little later. I'm going to end, we're going to talk personally, and I'll help you out on that. I'm just going to end with this. I thank you for listening. I hope to see you again, whether you decide to work with us or whether you decide to just have some of the products personally to help your family. Thank you. Let's bring back up Yuri, and God bless all.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Jerry Gironi. I'm speechless on that, because, just imagine that right now, I'm in the business for 5 years. And tonight is very important with me and special because my younger sister is here, Apple. And she will help me to walk back through my story with our mother. And we really love our mother so dearly. And I think, Apple, it's your first time to, Yeah, but before in my new skin business, she was with me as well. She's the youngest of the family. And she knew that I cannot talk in front of everyone. I have this red in my chest and nervous and all like that, but life has gone on and everything changed. So my background, I'm in really a beauty business, which is New Skin. It really molds me and, helped me. It's a network marketing, but it's been in US for,
I had the privilege.
it's also a $1 million company. So they are gonna put the picture of my mother there because that's the reason why I'm here in front of you. So, I started that new skin business in Philippines and brought it here in UAE, and that time actually, we don't have this support from the company, and even my sister with me, she works with me, and we really did well, because the most important of that is that those of hard work, and we wanted to sell to help our mother that is sick. She is diabetic dialysis, and imagine that dialysis will not going to cure you. First, you were going to be dialysis first, then go to second, then go to third and fourth. 4 times a week dialysis. It's really expensive, but thanks God because with my siblings as well and me, we helped together to support our dear mother. So, because my husband contract ended here before he works here, so we went to America, and I thought that my beauty business in America will work so well. Actually, I was doing there also just only a part-time whitening skin or something like that, but it really ended not good for me. But because I wanted to earn more, so I became a caregiver, one-on-one with the elderly, anything just to have money to send to the Philippines. Because especially in the Philippines, we don't have this, insurance, or the government will support us in everything, none. But although there is a public hospital, but you need to be there, like our mother go there around midnight just to queue in and So what we did, we really worked hard to support her. Then I hope that Leia can post a picture. Thank you, Leia. Because this is really the reality why I'm here. I thought that my business in America were gonna go well, but they thought that a Filipina introduced a beauty product, it's like a whitening thing. So, sad to say, we live in Florida, and in Florida, where the retirement places, the beautiful beaches that they just go there, and if you're white skin there, it's like, you're not really that beautiful. But if you have a tan skin, you are amazing, you are beautiful. So I ended up, oh my God, I cannot sell this beauty thing here. So I need to have money, I need to work, because you know what, I don't want my mother to wait and ask money from me. Then, one time, because again, dialysis will not going to cure you, it will only going to prolong your life. It was almost 6 years. Then my sister, my brother was there and Apple was there. They told me that my mother is dying. She was in the hospital, and this is the time this picture, this is the time that I was in America and they were there, and my sister said that we need to be ready because it will be the last time, because she was always like in the ICU, but that time, my sister really told me that this will be the last time, so you need to go back to Philippines because I'm the eldest, I need to prepare everything. So I prepare myself because, I'm so in touch with my mom. Whatever it is, whatever it takes, I will give everything to her. So I went home, then she was really bedridden, she cannot even walk, she cannot talk. Then one time, 2 of my friends went to my place and shared me this miraculous stopper. And I said, okay, and how much is that? And that time, I don't really have money because, when you have a patient like this, so expensive, our debt is so high, but who knows, there's a miracle. So, I got the topper, and at least for the 25% down payment, good thing that our company has that kind of offer. We are so lucky that we have that kind of offer, then why not? So 2 of my friends, that my colleagues also in the previous business, offered that to me. And for me, there are so many people claiming that their product or the supplements or whatever it is will really work for them. But for me, to see is to believe. So I tried and got that topper. Supposed to be, it's only single topper because it's supposed to be for my mother, because the time, like $1,300, it's so expensive for me. But then, my father is still alive and taking care of our mother, then why not? I just got the queen topper. So I got the queen topper and I said, whatever. Just okay. Then, when you are seeing your mother, like, she cannot do anything, it's so hard. And that time, she's only like 59 years old, so young. And she is our inspiration, she's our motivator, she really pushes us to do something, to dream something, So anyway, I said, well, I give a chance. And then, one time, just 4 weeks or 5 weeks later, when she was able to stand again and walk slowly, and it's like, she cannot really talk like a robot, but it's at least she was able to, and that time we were expecting that it's like a week or 2, she's gone. But because of the topper, it's expanded her life. I don't know what's in there. Sometimes like, hey, don't claim, don't say something, but that's what happened to my mother. And now, this is really the mission that makes me more stronger to do something because of my mother. Imagine that, extended her life to a year where the hospital, they couldn't do anything. She was in the ICU. All of us were there, showing our love for our mother. That I cannot even believe that my mother gave me a legacy and a mission to continue that. There is amazing product that whatever it is, that there's so many people telling like, hey, you need to be into into details. You need to be a technical, but sometimes I'm not that person as technical. This is what the result of my mother. She was not in dialysis anymore, you know. But there is a miracle that I ask from God that, Lord, maybe you can give extension of my life, of the life of my mother. And that time, September, when I saw my mother walking and asked again money, like, "Nah, can you give me 2,000 pesos? I said, oh my God, great, my mother is, you know, she's back again in her mind and all like that. So went back to US and I gave her actually 5,000 at the time because the grandchildren are asking, my cousins, sons asking for money like that. So I gave her actually 5,000 pesos. You know, when you were sick and down, you cannot think about money, right? You were sick and every one of us, who would think of doing something good, buying, going, doing something? You're so sick. Your body's so down. But the time when my mother said about asking of 2,000 pesos, Mom, you're good now, I need to go back to America. So I went back to America September 2017 and shared the blessing. Shared that there is something, this topper, in my Facebook, in my social media, and thank you for your prayers. So I shared this and never thought that there's a business opportunity with this. And then, because I'm still doing part-time in the newsstand business, I said, no, I will not put my name there. I will put the name of my other sister, Divine. And one time, from Manila, because I just shared it, and there are some people who purchased, and first time in PNB, Philippine National Bank, it was the name of my sister, Divine. I received 79,000 pesos. And my mother went with my sister and they were so happy to withdraw that money in the machine. So I repeated it again, shared it in the second month. And I said, Mom, I got a commission again. And I said, Mom, you need to go there with my sister because it was my sister. Because our sister is a little bit something, but she's so nice as well. But I said, go there, Mom. And my mother was so shocked because it's 159,000 pesos. It's almost $3,000. So I almost paid off the topper that she had. And at the same time, it helps her. You know what I mean? So I said, okay. And Mr. Jerry Gironi told me that, hey, do you want to know more about of the business and the company? So he sent Mr. Robert Cruz to help me for 10 days. And after that 10 days, I didn't really knew all the houses that we went, nursing home that we go, everyone purchased. Everyone purchased. And that time, I'm almost into $100,000 for 10 days with Mr. Robert Cruz. I just lead him to those friends of mine or even just acquaintance, because I do believe in the product. I do believe in the product, that product really helps my mother extend her life. Imagine when there's someone dying in your family and they will tell you that maybe only a week or two, what are you going to do? But God gave us a year that we can be with our mother. And that's so priceless, so much priceless. So I'm thankful to God on that. Then after that third month, when I earned almost 2 million pesos, I quit my job. Imagine I become a caregiver that beyond my imagination in a home care, like 6 of the patients bedridden there. You're going to wipe their ass, you again and again, diapers and all like that, again and again. But you know what? I have no regret doing that, but it was a heavy job. Because when you're bedridden, it's so heavy. And at night, I work as a one-on-one with the elderly. And sometimes, I work as a maid or nanny. But I'm proud. Because that was a test for me. And my purpose is to help my dear mother. Sometimes, when I share my product opportunity or something, I'm not into details. But for me, there are so many company claims that they can do this and that. But for me, I saw it in my both eyes and it was my mother. Then, by that time, when I quit my job full-time, and to be exact, almost 5 years, Mr. Jerry Geroni, and thank you for everything, thank you for believing in me, almost 5 years now full-time. And beyond my imagination, I can't believe that I can go to these other places in America, Australia, wherever. And Mr. Geroni will support you. But it is the mission of helping people live longer, healthier lives. So again, this mattress or the topper, if you're not going to do this as a business, please use it. Because, especially right now with this radiation, whether we like it or not, actually, it's so funny. I'm just gonna go back again because, you know, your sister is the one that who you sometimes she will believe or not believe, but you cannot lie to your sister, right? So, again, before of all of this, I told my sister that when I was work every day and all, you know, so busy and I was not able to go to church, and I told her, we have a group chat like, hey, I dreamt that I was I was like doing bicycle and it's all rainbow and all like that. And well, in my belief, I saw the Holy Family, something like that. And everything happened for everything. So what I'm talking about, this mattress is connected to the earth. So my faith, like, you know, if you're sleeping on the mattress, you are shielded. And at the same time, you're sleeping with the hands of God. Imagine that, and most of the people that they really truly believe in the mattress or the topper, most of them, they will look younger, whether you like it or not. Like at the floor, she just got her topper, and Kuya told me this morning, like he said, oh, I don't need that anymore. I'm a lawyer and this and that. I don't need stress anymore. But he said, after he brought the topper, his mind is working, and it won't stop. Actually, we spoke, and he has so many ideas and this and that. Imagine. Because there's a purpose. Because there's really a people that going to got you to help you with the mission. Especially our product is very timely right now. And you know what? It's not the hours of the sleep. It's how deep we sleep so that our system, our energy can fight. Don't you know how many viruses I got already? 4 times, I think. 5 times. I got COVID 5 times. Imagine that. But, well, if ever I'm afraid, who will share? Who will tell to everyone that we have this product, at least that it can help you to fight these viruses? Imagine that. And by only sleeping, by only using this miraculous mattress, you will glow from within and you can share. And money will follow. We have a good opportunity for every one of you. So, you know, Mr. Jerry already showed you, and this is the one that I adapt this I got this, what do you call this demo, from the Abu Dhabi group, Arlene. Like, seriously, before I was like laughing on it, that was a scam and this and that. Example, there are some days that you don't feel good. There are some days that you are lazy. There are some days that you don't want to stand up because you're lazy, you're tired, especially flu is here and you know. But if you're on the topper, and that's what I observe as well, it will help you and gives you energy whether you like it or not. We tried this many times and I think I got my problem with my arms of doing like that. But I would like to call someone to at least be right here to I would do the demo. You want to try? Alright, Iman, thank you. So, we can have an ordinary, next time Leia, we will have the ordinary phone. So for example, you're not sleeping or you're sleeping in the ordinary mattress. So what you're going to do, Iman, Rika should do this. You want to try Rika? Please, Rika, because I always do this. So Rika, we're going to do the demo from the back. So Iman, just do like that. And Rika, we're going to...
Your feet put together.
Yeah.
Put together. Good. Yeah. Same straight.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna push it and you have to resist it. Okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. One more time.
Ano mo siya? You need to be more, huwag ka magpadala sa mga.
Resist. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's put this one. the middle of your leg.
Then let's try again. 1, 2, 3.
More, Rika.
One more. 1, 2, 3.
So actually, imagine that, no, but anyway, seriously, that was a funny. Oh, you want to try, Rika, do it also. I don't want to use my
Well, we come here for business.
Okay, Rika, go, Rika.
Okay,
Without first, without.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to put all
Put
it
it
together.
Yeah. Put your hands like no.
You'll be alphabetics.
Okay. Okay. Stand straight. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more.
No, funny.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's try to collect this one. Here.
Better?
Let's
Is that better?
Can you hear me?
See, Rika.
Is it? Yes.
Hindi yata nakasaktan.
Ah, hindi.
Uh-oh. It's another new trick.
Okay. Okay. Stand straight.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. You can feel the difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what size
imagine
would you like
that.
to make?
It's so deep. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's so deep explanation. But again, for sure, there's a study of that and everything, you know. But what I'm talking about, who wants to have a good health? Especially now, right? Especially now. So when you hear someone, oh, that's so expensive, I cannot afford that. But when you're very sick, you're gonna do everything. You're gonna sell everything. You're gonna do something to save your life. Why not protect yourself now than later? That's the thing. Wherever I go, I always have my topper with me, but I wish that I have a mattress. Because the mattress is different, more different than the topper, but at least the topper will really help big as well.
How many sizes?
We have the sizes later. So what they're talking about is that we have all the sizes.
We're nice.
So you know what? Again, we want that who can share a story. Because that's the most important right now. People will feel your heart. And if one of our products will give a difference from your life, change your life from whatever it is, you will be unstoppable of sharing. Because here we are not going to sell. We are going to share to help everyone. It's not through earning, but of course we want to earn as well, but it is more on sharing of what's the result that you had. So that's really, amazing one. And the other one, I just want to show you because I didn't really, just really quick, because I did not have a demo of this one yesterday, but I don't know, here's the other parts. Actually, this one, they call this the Armalite of virus. We can be the ghost virus buster. So in Department of Health, only through the online Zoom demonstration, I did the demo with this in the air purifier. But seriously, they really take it seriously that this one can really help. So this one is just like a vacuum, so we get a vacuum. So especially here, there's lots of cleaning services, cleaning businesses, correct? So mostly of the cleaning businesses, what they do, of course, they just, so see, this is a vacuum, right? So we're gonna vacuum. Like that. This is the first thing, no? At least I'm beautiful. So I'm gonna do like, oh my God, this is what I'm doing. If you can do this, you can earn gain. So, but making sure that you look presentable. So, imagine. So, jokingly, we do the vacuum. Most of the cleaners, they did vacuum, right? What they remove? The dust. Okay. In this time of pandemic, why we are using face masks?
Because of the virus.
Why? To protect, right? And at the same time, our saliva can be like, spread this and that, or if ever we go to the hotel, if we go to the hotel, most of the hotels they have the carpet floors, right? So for example, this carpet, so we do like that. So, but then, example, I had my, like I coughed there. So that saliva is there. So what if there's a little children or whoever walking like barefoot or something like that? Sometimes, right? But the point there is that how we can remove at the same time the viruses. So this one, it's not only going to remove bacteria, it can also destroy or help to destroy the bacteria and some of the virus, because this one, we're gonna do the vacuum, and at the same time, I just need this one to solid the blue. There's also a sanitation with this. So it should be plugged in earlier. Yeah, it needs to be. Kasi hindi pa siya nag-solid. So we just need to wait a little bit, you know. So actually, if you see this one, this blue blinking, it should be a solid blue so that the what do you call this? The steam will come out. And we only use tap water. So for those doing the cleaning services, or for those of you who put a chemical, you don't need to buy chemical anymore. Because why? In this machine, we only use tap water. So there's a tap water here, no chemicals. Because our environment is already not good, and then we put normal tap water.
Okay.
So tap water, but I told Mark if it was on earlier, but it's okay. So we're gonna wait a little bit. And at the same time, this vacuum you can use also with for your toilet. You just change the nozzle.
Yeah.
You can use it in the window glass or door glass. You can use it in the oven. You can use it in the tiles. Many things to use, you know. So, but the good thing of this is that in Philippines, if you go to, not only in Philippines, up to now here as well, they use the sanitizer to enter the mall, to enter the any places there. Yeah, sanitizer, alcohol. But how come there's still so many people that infected? But I do believe that this one, because of the 308 in Fahrenheit, the heat of it can really destroy virus. So what I'm trying to say is that some of the government in Philippines, what they do, instead of sanitation, instead of sanitizer and alcohol, what they do, because why you only put alcohol or sanitizer in your hand? Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Good? That one is fine, right? But sometimes we forgot that we don't have face mask in our eyes. Sometimes our eyes is itchy or something. So what we do like, oh, okay, like that. But so then it was open, so the virus was there, right? So bottom line, still, it's not really that effective, but at least although in their mind it can help. But what we do in Philippines, and this is what I did in Philippines, and it really works there. I miss doing this. This is the Armalite of the virus. The gun of the virus. You know, so this is what I did there. So what I'm talking about is because of the heat and the steam, you can try. That's not that. Do you feel the heat?
Hot. A little hot.
Yeah? So if it's like pointing at you, near at you, it's more,
Yeah.
yeah? So what we're gonna do, what's your name, dear?
Line.
Larkin, can you please come up here? So for example, for me, what I'm gonna do, instead of sanitizer and alcohol, so what you're gonna do, can you lift your shoes, please? Your shoes? No, with your, like that. No, huwag mo tagalin, be. Itaas mo lang. Yeah, like that. And the other one, sanitize. Let's close your eye. And can you go back?
Turn.
Ano back? Turn back. Bisaya kasi, pwede mo Bisaya. So thank you dear. So what do you feel? There's a heat but tolerable. So that's the good thing of this, that it can really help. So some of the houses, big houses, villas, and in the other countries, or even here, we can show this to them. So what I'm talking again is, this is the thing. It can help. It can help in the ceiling and everywhere, because it's everywhere. It's in the air. And at the same time, this is good thing to offer in the hotel, in the hospitals, because not only like vacuum this time. It's not only doing the vacuum. We need also to vacuum and sanitize. At the same time, show me a vacuum cleaner that there's also a sanitation at the same time. So I need your help that we should share this through the hotels, schools, everyone. We need to share this at least to control of what's going on right now. So imagine that, and at the same time, with the toilet, with the sink of the public places, for example, this one, with the public places, their toilets and all like that, we can also sanitize. So for example, this one we can sanitize as well. It can clean through the pipe, it can clean through the sink. Like for example, that restroom there, toilet there, it should be sanitized like that. It should not only the chemicals that they're using because of the heat. And with the last one is, for example, there's so many right now because UAE is the center of the world, and everyone is going here, and all of us, we want to go to Expo, so we just wanted to stay in Dubai, or we're going to go to Ras Al Khaimah, so we want to go to the hotels. And most of the hotels, there are so many people there going back and forth to that hotel room, and they will tell you that our hotel are sanitized. Okay? But what they use? What do they use? And mostly, like this chemicals thing, and we don't really know. But what about if we will show them that we have a deep sanitation for them? Most of us, whatever, if you are tired, your saliva, we're going to go through. Even though whoever you are, if you sleep, open your mouth, Have you noticed that? Sometimes I woke up with it, sorry. But so gross, but it's the reality. So, why not? We should offer that we can do the vacuum at the same time to sanitize as well. To sanitize as well with this and this. Instead of only removing the...
So if I go to hotel, I will take this one with me?
No, you can... Why not? You can. Or you can offer this to them. Because no one is offering this to this hotel here. No one. So this is your chance that we have this. There's only level of water that, but it really works. So again, later we can also discuss on it. But again and again, no one is offering this one in UAE. We can also do that later. So again, we have all of this product. And again, thank you for coming. And we have the best price. So please go back to the person who invited you. And I hope that you can join us. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Sorry. So what are you going to do like this?
And I think
We have all the prices you
more energy.
Yes.
Especially for me.
You warmed up yesterday.